Y'all, it's Michael Miller. Got to do another video. Don't mind me being topless. I don't care. Oh my God, I got a nipple exposed. Please don't call the police on me for showing off my nipple. Hope I'm not violating any YouTube guidelines for exposing the nipple. Oh no. Don't worry, guys. I ain't squeezing it out for no milk. The hypocrisy of this country, man, I swear. You can't sexualize a woman breastfeeding, but you can sexualize a woman's nipple slipping and being exposed in the public eye. Because if it's not sexualized, it shouldn't be a big deal. Men have nipples. Nobody looks at a man's nipple and says, woo, I'm hot under the collar now because of that nipple. So if it's not sexualized, then it's not sexualized. If you can see a nipple, you can see a nipple. Get over yourself. But that's not the point of my video today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about, once again, I'm going to be the bad guy. Thank you very much, sweetie. Yep, that was my wife. That was Mrs. Miller right there, helping me with a shirt so that I can look decent for America. Don't know what I'd do without her. But I get to be the bad guy today. Why am I the bad guy? Because today we are going to talk about everyone's favorite topic of discussion, stimulus checks. What is my stance on stimulus checks? Fuck stimulus checks. Why do I feel that way? Because what was the purpose of the stimulus check? Now, unless I misunderstand or I didn't have the right idea, the stimulus check was supposed to be designated to help people survive the financial strain of wage loss and other things happening due to the pandemic, so that they could get things like supplies, catch up on their bills, maybe provide food for their families, things of that nature. Buy, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, all the things that people were going insane and buying by the droves. Okay. So this money was for all American citizens who fit within a certain demographic to be able to survive. If you had a child that you also were responsible for, you could claim a $500 credit for that child as well as your stimulus check. So if you received the full amount of $1,200 and the $500 from your child, that's $1,700 you were getting if you were single. Question. Where in there does that logic dictate that if you owed taxes, they weren't touching your stimulus check? Fines, court costs, no, they weren't touching your stimulus check. But if you owe child support, they're going to take as much of it as they want to until your arrears are caught up. The reason this is so relevant is because think about the message that sends inherently. What you are basically saying is that if you owe child support, if you owe back support for any reason, it's not like they sat there and examined your case before they did it. Oh, this guy paid child support faithfully up until a certain point. Then he had a stroke and he couldn't work anymore. So he didn't pay anymore up until this point. It's not like they examined it on a case-by-case basis. If you had arrears, they just took your stimulus check. The problem I have with that is, again, think about the message that's sending. What they're basically saying is that if this money is to survive the pandemic and you owe support, you don't deserve to survive the pandemic. Because we're going to take this money that was supposed to be designated to help you survive, and we are going to just take it. We're going to give it to the person who receives your child support payments. Even if those cases are not even open anymore. If you owe arrears after the case has been closed, when you no longer even have active child support cases, they will still take the whole thing and divide it to pay off the arrearages. So what they because of that, because of the fact that even with a closed case, they will still take the money. That lets me know right there that basically, if you are paying child support and you owe arrearages or anything, the government is basically deciding that you do not deserve to survive the pandemic. What you deserve is to struggle and to be destitute, while the custodial parent not only gets their stimulus check, they get your stimulus check, and they get the additional $500 for the child. In some politicians' mind, that makes sense. That's fair. It's fair to give one person $2,900 to survive with, and to give the other person bupkis. Seems a little raw, and it seems like I'm a little upset about it. Well, maybe because that exact thing happened to me. Not putting too much of my business out there, but that is pretty much what happened to me. I am not the only person this has happened to. There are plenty of American citizens who this has happened to. And it's really sad. Now, everybody's over here getting all excited and following the news about a second stimulus payment because they want to see what the government is going to do. Personally, I feel like if they are not going to guarantee that money goes to the individual, or if they're just going to be using it to set up a second lottery ticket win for the people receiving child support payments or that are owed child support payments, and leaving the people who pay child support wrung out to dry again, then what's the point? What, you think you're doing the American citizens a favor by giving some people money and letting the other people struggle and suffer? My honest opinion, all you're really doing is setting it up so that people who are struggling and starving are going to get desperate. In the beginning of this pandemic, I noticed that there were people who were desperate, who couldn't work, out there robbing gas stations and things like that. That kind of behavior I don't see calming down. I see it only increasing the more you put people in desperate situations where some of them deserve to be taken care of and the others deserve basically whatever they got coming. But that's my thoughts on the issue.